Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. Paul's back from England after the wedding last week. Good job we didn't do a podcast because I'm sure Paul would have had some very colourful language on West Ham. I don't know, mate. Like most West Ham fans, I think we're glad that we've got this break now because it was getting hard to watch. It was becoming a struggle. It was, it just wasn't enjoyable anymore, was it? Last few weeks.
No, not at all. And the break definitely come at the right time. Definitely come at the right time for the team and for Moyes. Imagine like losing 3 games in a week, 3 home games in a week. Imagine then going and losing to Arsenal the week after. That's 4 on the trot. Yeah, bad times. The break come at the right time. It seems that Moyes has been given the board's backing through the World Cup, which, in my opinion, personally, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't agree with that.
No, I think this was a good chance to, start again. If you get a new manager in, listen, you probably had seen the rumours now. Tuchel weren't going to come. He thinks he'll probably get the England job after the World Cup. Pochettino has his eyes on bigger clubs. But that doesn't mean you don't look. There are other managers out there that could have done a job.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're going to change, I mean, for again, it's all rumours, but the rumours are he's been given 3 games
I hate that.
I hate that as well. You're setting them up to foul.
They've made the decision up that he's not good enough to take us forward.
And they're just putting it off. And they're you're setting him up to foul. What are those 3 games? Is Arsenal... Is it Brentford in there?
Wolves?
Might be Wolves, yeah. Not tough games.
No, we're not beating Arsenal. Brentford are renownedly good. The only thing that Brentford may go into our favour is that Ivan Toney may be banned by then. But I still think they're good enough to beat
new manager. I don't know. I think if we chop him, then I don't know. It just seems like a wasted opportunity. You have the World Cup break. You've got 6 weeks or whatever it is. I think it's 6 weeks. 6-week break to get a new man in, to work with the team, get used to the club, get his staff in, whatever needs to be done. It's such a good time to do it. If you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. I'll be honest. In my opinion, now, if you're not going to do it now, there's no point. You might as well just give him the season. Unless it actually looks like we're going down, which is not impossible.
What I'm worried about is if, with that 3 games thing, let's just say we beat Arsenal. Let's pretend we beat Arsenal, lose the next 2, then it's January. Are you going to give him the money? Are they going to trust him with the money? Because they will need to go out and get a fullback, maybe another striker, by the rumours that are out there today. I don't think they'll trust him with the money. Then you're in a weird position then.
No, I agree, mate. I agree. It's just so weird. And then why would they, if I'm running the club, and we're off the back of 2 top 7 finishes, we're 2 European campaigns, and I've given my manager £180 million to spend in the summer, and then he comes to me in January again. Do you know what? Those players I bought ain't really good enough. I want a bit more. I ain't giving him nothing.
Really? Well, negative. Not beating Arsenal. We must have a chance. Really, the way they're playing, mate.
Yeah, the way they're playing and the way that we're playing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's negative. It is negative, but, what do you expect?
No.
Yeah. I would say we'd be heavy underdogs for that one, mate. I love your faith, Pete. Put money on it.
Yeah. I hope we do win, mate. I would love to see us win it, but I can't see it. So it looks like he is going to stay now, unfortunately. Like I say, I think the breaks come at the right time. I think we're a little bit deluded, some of us, that we think that we're going to have this COVID bounce that, when we came back from COVID, me and you, I remember the podcast we did, and I actually said, I was like, oh yeah, Antonio could get 6 in 12, and he ended up doing it, but in hindsight. But it's different. It's different this time. It's different.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same. I don't, the players... Realistically, the players, if you look at our team, who are the players that really need work during this break? I'd say the big one is going to be Bowen. Bowen needs to pull his finger out. That work needs to be done with Bowen. But the other ones, you're talking the likes of Skamaka, who I suppose will still be about. He needs work. But then Paqueta, who hasn't settled in, he'll be away with Brazil. Kera will be away with Germany. Areola's going to be away with France. Aguerd is away. All the new signings are not there. So I don't know what difference this is going to make. I don't, and I don't think he's going to all of a sudden change his style of play.
You can't keep using the excuse of, they're bedding in. Like, these are the players you wanted, and you're renowned for scouting for so long, and you can't get a tune out of a £50 million Brazilian international and a 35 million or whatever he was Italian number 9. I'm sorry, like a good manager would have come in there and gone, right, okay, they're our best players. We build around them, not, we're just going to try and fit you in. No, Paqueta should be the man and Scamacca should be the man. And Rice, Paqueta and Scamacca, the whole team should be built about making them play their best football.
Yeah, I agree.
It's frustrating. I did write a few rumours down, mate, that I read in the paper just for us to discuss. David Fratesi, you probably know him, Scamacca's best friend, has now said, no, I don't want to come to West Ham. Can you be surprised?
I mean, if you're... Why would you? And obviously that's another thing that's going to happen during this break. The players are going to be away with their international teams. The likes of Scamacca, he actually isn't with the Italy squad at the minute. But why any international players, any Italian players, anyone from Serie A, they're going to be looking at Scamacca. They'll be ringing him up saying, "Should we be coming to this club?" No, of course not. Paqueta's away with Brazil. Same thing. I don't think we're going to be signing any Brazilian internationals after Paqueta anyway. No. But it's the same thing. Rice is going to be with England. They're all going to be taking the piss out of him.
No, I agree, mate.
They will. Like it's yeah. If you're a player now, you're a decent player. You're an international standard player, and you're looking at West Ham now. Why would you come to West Ham apart from purely
not under
money?
Moyes anyway? I wouldn't say that the club is not in a good. Like the club could be in a really good place potentially.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's the wording there. Yeah, the wording. Like, you're right. We'll go in a minute. Oh, yeah, but West Ham are in a good place. Yeah, actually, in European competition, we're spending money. It seems like the board are a bit more ambitious now. But under Moyes, is a good topic actually. We could go on to. I just thought it took me. What players have got better and what players have got worse under him?
I
there
mean,
are players that have got better.
Yeah, Dawson, if you're going to say under Moyes, and you're going back through his whole time here, a lot of players got better. A lot of players got better. Like you say, Bowen was absolutely fantastic. Antonio got a lot better. Fornals has been phenomenal. Like you say, Dawson, absolutely. Ogbon has been fantastic. Although I don't know if that's got much to do with Moyes. But if you're just talking about all those players that he's improved, every single one of them now has regressed. Every single one of them. All of those players that we were praising Moyes for getting a tune out of has gone backwards this season. They've gone backwards. All of them have got worse.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Which sound this, mate? Ronaldo, Man United can't get a tune out of him. Doesn't make the manager a bad manager. That's a completely different situation. You've got a player that doesn't want to play for him anymore. My age, 38, I know I don't look anything like an Adonis as Ronaldo. But, this is a man whose career's, slowly dwindling down, desperately wanted to stay in the Champions League, to keep that record and, try and stay above Messi and stuff like that. This guy's desperate to get out of the club. No, it doesn't make Ten Hag a bad manager. It really doesn't. But David Moyes wanted these players. These players want to play for him when they came, and he's not getting a tune out of them. He's constantly relying on the tried and tested. You got anything on that, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I like you say, it is completely different. It's completely different. You can't use the Ronaldo. There's no comparison with Ronaldo to any single player in West Ham's squad. There's not. It's completely different situations. If you're going to say, Ten Hag didn't sign him.
Ten Hag didn't sign Ronaldo. Solskjaer did.
But if you want to use that argument, just because a manager can't get a tune out of a player does make him a bad manager. That's true. if it was one player in West Ham's team that was struggling, you would say, well, you know, all right, you can't really blame Moyes for that. It's not one player, mate. It's the entire team. The entire team. Name me one player. One player. I would say our best players this season have been Benrahma, who Moyes clearly doesn't like.
He doesn't like him.
And doesn't want to play. Benrahma's been our best player this season. And I actually think Cresswell has been very good this season as well. I think Cresswell has been very good this season. Apart from them, tell me one player who's having a good season. And are you telling me that all of these players have gone off form at the same time? Oh, that's coincidence. Just coincidence.
Yeah.
And I click on that comment, mate. Like, so how do you know that, mate? If they're not, why is he still at the club?
Exactly. And how do we know? Because it took so bloody long to sign him, Pete. We know, and you can't deny, Pete, that you don't know that it's Dithering Dave. He sits there and waits and waits and waits and waits to buy a player. We've turned down the likes of Ivan Toney in the past and Maddison because they had not done the spot checks. There's no way that David Moyes, at his height of his power in the summer, took West Ham into a European competition again, European semi-final, did not have a say on Paqueta, Emerson, Cornet, Scamacca, Areola. He greenlit, doesn't want to play him. Come on, mate. Seriously. You got anything on that, mate?
Yeah, again, yeah. You know, how do you know they're his choices? Listen, as you say, he's renowned for that. I'm pretty sure he's on record as saying that he wouldn't sign players for the sake of doing it. We know, granted, the board have got form for this in the past, but I don't think that is the case this time.
The only one I would give him is potentially that was a rushed one is Tilo Kehrer because of Aguerd's injury. That's the only signing I'm giving you. That's
possible.
Maybe that weren't ease. And it was just that we need one. We need a centre back. Go get one.
I'm pretty sure he's on record as well as saying that we tried to get Scamacca in January. The January
we know
period.
He's scattered Aguerd for a long time, but again, Aguerd's out of his hands.
Yeah. So and even if these players are not Moyes' choice, if they're not, and they're just been given to him, if the club have, for some random reason, spent over £100 million on players the manager don't want, Moyes should have walked.
Yeah,
he should have said, "Listen, these ain't my players. What are you doing? You're undermining me."
And do you know how I know they're his players, mate? Do you know how I know they're his players? He's played them. He's played them. Where with Benrahma, when he first come in, refused to play him. Took him a long, long time. Crow was definitely not a Moyes signing. He's played them. There's no way Paqueta wasn't his signing. He went in first game, didn't he? First game he came in, bang. Tilo Kehrer, first game, boom, in. So they're his signings, mate. I'm sorry that they're his signings. Where is the free scoring team we had last season? Apart from Areola and Downs, all of our new players have been injured or ill part of the season. Don't know how we can get them out of this mess. Yeah, I'll give. You know, you were saying, mate, who's had a good season? I think Flynn Downs has had a good season as well. I think
Downs, mate. Downs, you say that, right? So Downs, when he first came through, he looked really good. And then all of a sudden, Moyes decides he wants to start playing him out of position, start playing him as an attacking midfielder, which he's not, and he's never been in his entire career. And he's going backwards again. He's another one. In my opinion, in the last few games, Downs is going backwards because he's being played out of position.
When did I say that, Pete? At what point did I say that? Did not say that. Okay, couple more rumours, mate. Fullback rumours before we move on. Jordi Alba, mate. Spain legend, World Cup winner, Barcelona. I think he's about 34 now, but he ain't coming West Ham.
No, of course he's not. You know, that's
34. He ain't coming West Ham.
No, I saw that link and it made me laugh. It's the same as the links I've been seeing the last couple of weeks about Man United or after Mbappe. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's no. He would. Don't get me wrong, Jordi Alba. Yes, he's getting on a bit, but he's still better than Aaron Cresswell. Yeah.
Another one is Rafael Guerreiro from Borussia Dortmund, Portuguese international. I think it's only Cancelo that keeps him out of the team at left back role. He's decent. He's all right. Again, fullbacks are priority for me in the January window, not summer. January. I think we desperately need a right back. Looks like young Ashby's going to go, which is a shame, a massive, massive shame. Yeah, disappointing.
Even then, like you say we're looking at fullbacks again. It's a failure of recruitment in the summer. We spent £12 million on a left back, and he don't play him.
No, Emerson don't play.
So what's the point? I don't think he's even played him at left back. Maybe he's played him once at left back. He's
Left
been
wing
playing him
back and
left wing
left
back.
mid. Yeah,
He hasn't played left wing back in his entire career. And I keep seeing fans as well saying, "Oh, but he's a left wing back." No, he's not. When's he played left wing back? Don't play left wing back for Italy.
yeah. Like I say, the
Didn't
Chelsea
play
guy.
left wing back for Leon.
Chelsea
Didn't
guy
play
I know
left wing
said he
back.
was just a bit underused.
Yeah.
They signed him and then they signed Chilwell. And he just didn't get time. But actually, he's been okay. He can look a bit suspect.
And then on the other side, we signed Kehrer, who plays right back for Germany. And now, so we've bought these two players in the summer, and now we're saying, oh no, we need fullbacks. What did we just buy?
Exactly. It's frustrating. One more little rumour, mate, before we go into some player ratings so far this season. Sadly, looks like Dawson could be gone in January, mate. I think that's going to be a massive, massive loss. Gerd looks good, but Zuma's only a stretch away from his knee going. Big Oggy, always close to an injury. Is it going to be?
I mean,
is it going to be a Gerd and Kura at centre back?
That is where we need. That's, in my opinion, that's where we need recruitment. Is we need it only because of Zuma, because of his injury, and he looks shaky now, which is a shame. We spent big money on him. Aguerd looks good. Kehrer can play there, but I think he's better as a right back, or if he's going to play in the centre back, he needs to be in a back three. Ogbonna, I love Ogbonna, but like you say, he's not getting any younger. Dawson, I don't think Dawson's been great this season. To be honest with you, mate, we know he wanted to go in the summer. He wanted to go. Wouldn't surprise me, like you say, to see him leave in Jan. He wants to move on.
But good servant. Be a shame.
Oh yeah, he's been a fantastic signing, unbelievable signing, Dawson. Yeah, like value for money wise,
Definitely. All right, mate. Let's have some fun with this for 5-10 minutes.
I hope so, because do you know what? I really didn't want this to be like a negative.
No, I don't want to be too negative.
But I'm getting annoyed already. I'm really annoyed just talking about.
I thought it was going to be quite a positive. It will be later when we go into the World Cup bit a bit later. But the West Ham stuff it gets me back to angry. I've got the squad list here, so we'll go for it. Fabianski in goal, mate. What do we give him? I think he's done well. He saved a few penalties. He's done what we can in a team that's not playing well. What should we do? Should we do it grades A or should we go out of 10?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If we were going to do, I don't know. I'll find it difficult to give grades. If I was giving him out of 10, I'd probably give him a 7.
Yeah, good 7. 7.5. Like I say, he's done his best. He's pulled off some really good saves.
Yeah, we've got plenty of issues this year. I don't think Fabianski's one of them, although I definitely would like to see Areola starting in the league. I think Areola needs to be taken over. But yeah, Fabianski hasn't been a problem this year. I'll give him a 7.
No. Moving on then, mate, to Areola. He's done well in the Conference League. Hasn't really been tested at all. Didn't do well in the penalty shootout against Blackburn. Got to none of them. If you want
apparently, I didn't know this, but Fabianski's got one of the best penalty save records of all keepers.
Oh, really?
Areola's one of the worst.
Oh.
He's only saved a couple of penalties in his career.
I remember old Big Rob being fantastic.
Rob Green was very good, yeah.
Rob Green was fantastic penalty saver. From what I've seen from Areola, he's a good goalie, he is, and it's unfair to be too critical of him until you see him get a proper run in the Premier League. I give him, again, you've got to give him that 7, don't you? Good 7.
I think if I was, for me, I would give him a 6, but that's purely because we haven't seen him. The games he's played, he hasn't been tested. We've been playing against crap opposition, if we're being honest, where he hasn't had to do much. I really like Areola. I think he should be taking over Fabianski as our number 1, but just purely because we haven't really seen him, I couldn't really give him more than a 6.
Yeah. Ben Johnson now going into the defenders. He's looked shaky this year. He has. He's looked really shaky this year. And the fact that Tilo Kura is starting ahead of him, speaks quite a lot of volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's another one who's going backwards. Johnson's a weird player. I like Johnson. I don't think he's ever looked, even when he's been good last season.
I think he looks better when he plays left back.
I don't think he's ever looked special. I don't think he's ever stood
no,
out.
not like Ashby. Ashby actually looked special.
Yeah, I agree. I've always said that. I've always said I rate Ashby higher than Johnson.
Even that other young boy that played left back the other week, Scares or whatever his name is, he looked special. You can see it.
Scowls, was it? Ollie Scowls.
Yeah.
Johnson, he looks kind of, I don't know. He does a job. He's never really stood out to me. I don't think he's ever really, like you said,
he's a good player. Like I say, he's good. He's good, and I like that he's a big West Ham fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're comparing, like to right backs that have come through, like I'll go back to someone like Glenn Johnson. Straight away in those 7 games that he only played 7 games for Glenn Johnson. Straight away, people going, oh God, this is like the Ashley Cole, but he's a right back. I've never had that, like you say, mate. I've never thought, oh yeah, he's special, he's good. But yeah, I agree. I think I can only give him a 5, mate. I'll be honest with you, because he's lost his place. Got in front of Soufal and hasn't, took it, has he? He hasn't gripped it and himself.
I agree. I'd go with that as well. I'd go the same. Yeah, and it's a shame. He's another player who hasn't.
Yeah, and I don't want to see any West Ham player fail, especially the kids that are West Ham fans. But yeah, it just ain't happened for him this season. Right, you've already said he's had a half decent season so far, mate. Moving over to the left hand side, Aaron Cresswell. Yeah, not bad. I think he got a little bit wobbly towards these last sort of 3 games, but he's been, I don't know, you can only judge him by the rest of the defence, really, isn't it? And it's hard, if the rest of the defence playing better, sometimes you can get away with it. I don't know, 6.
I would give him a 7. I do think Cresswell's had a good season. I really do. I think he's had a good season. The defence has been moving all over the place around there. Again, kind of might contradict myself here by saying, again, I would like to see Emerson given a chance at left back, because I don't think he's even been given a chance. But again, of all the problems we've got this year, same as Fabianski, for me, Cresswell hasn't been one. I don't think Cresswell's been a problem this year.
Do you want to be starting right back next season?
Left back.
Left back, yeah.
No, and that's purely because of his age. He's while I don't think he's been a problem this season, he's definitely a position we could upgrade. Emerson could be the upgrade. I don't know. We haven't seen it.
Just one more thing on him. If he does go his ways next season or whatever, how will Cresswell be remembered? I'm sure we'll discuss it again when he does actually go at some point, but where does he stand with you? Where will he be remembered? He'll just be another one of West Ham's dependable. He's not making West Ham 11s.
Nah, but he's a dependable player who's been in the team for a long time. I reckon in 5 years' time, most people would have forgot about him, and you'll go, "Oh, I remember Aaron Cresswell."
Or with George McCartney.
See, George McCartney, I would compare him to. Yeah, I think they're very similar players, similar levels. And again, McCartney was a good, dependable player for West Ham.
Like Scott Minto.
Yeah, but he's another one now where you think, oh, yeah. Remember McCartney? Yeah, George was good, wasn't he? Yeah, I think it'll be the same with Cresswell. And I'm not trying to knock him.
There's too many left backs anyway. Julian Dix, you don't get in front of anyway. So you're talking famous number 3s. Kurt Zuma, next, mate, on the list.
Injured.
Too many injuries. When he does play, he can be a right beast. He really, really can. But I think there's been a few occasions where he's played a short ball. He's been caught out a few times. The first game, actually, Haaland, wasn't it? Done him. Not that many people that get done by Haaland. I think, 5 for him as well, mate. 5 for me.
Yeah, I agree. Again, just based on injuries and when he has played, I don't know whether he's still carrying something or whether he's a little bit more nervous now because of that injury.
A little bit wobbly, doesn't he, with his knees and that. And again, that's why maybe I'm being a bit harsh with his form, because he probably is playing through an injury. Vladimir Sufal, 2. Been absolutely shocking. And I'm going to say it, mate, I won't be sad if he goes in January. He's done
It's
his
a shame,
job,
isn't it?
and he was good. He was good. But
yeah, it's a shame, mate. It's a shame because he was brilliant. You know, like watching him last season before last, particularly. You know, how many times have you heard a commentator say, "Oh, not many people get past Sufal," or "Not many people get past him this season."
now they do.
Now they do. And again, he's another player that's gone backwards, another player that's regressed, gone backwards. Yeah, and it's a shame to see. I don't know if I'd give him a 2. I don't know if he's been that bad. I don't know if he's been like he has been poor. Maybe I'm being clouded because it's been a while.
Through him.
Yeah, it's been a while because he hasn't been playing really. I don't know. I feel like 2's harsh. I feel like that's harsh.
A 3 then. I'll give him a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate again. Another it's. I know we'll go on to this, and I hate that this is so negative. I really do. I hate this. I hate that this is so negative. Sufal, like, look at the way we were talking about Sufal.
But we have to be honest. We have to be honest, though, with how it stands so far. And that's the key thing now. It's just before anyone jumps in on the chat. It's so far this season.
I know. But it gets me, like I say, the way that Sufal has been so good for us. Souček been so good for us. Fornal has been so good for us. What this season? Crap.
Yeah.
What's it come down to? What's it come down to? The manager.
Dawson, I know we've discussed him. Just very quickly, give him a rate. We don't have to discuss him. When he has played, he's looked. You know, he's done what he can. He's a little bit slow for the Prem now, but yeah, I'd give him a 6.5. I think he's done okay. You know, he probably didn't expect to play any games this season, but when he does come in, he does what he's got to do.
I wouldn't give him that high rating, to be honest. I wouldn't. If you're giving the likes of Sufal 2s, I can't give. I can't give Dawes. I don't think he's been good this season at all. I really don't. I don't think he's been good this season. I think he's been easily beat. He looks slow. He still does, you know, throwing himself in front of things, which you love to see, but he's going to do that anyway. I couldn't give him more than a 5. And like you say, I don't think, you know, we know he wanted to leave. I think he will go. And, you know.
I know he's only played a couple of games, but we'll talk about him. Oggy. I love Oggy. It's just such a shame, you know, with him, because he really would be starting for us if he was 2 years younger or wouldn't have had that big injury a couple of years ago. Whenever he has played in a few of the games, and again, like you say, mate, the opposition, I think he's looked good. He always looks good. Lovely pass for the ball with that left foot. But yeah, because purely he hasn't played in Premier League, I can only give him a 5, 6.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's a shame, again, like you say, he has looked really good in Europe, and obviously the standard of opposition is really poor in European games. You can't really judge that. I would like to, with all the injuries we've had, I would have liked to have seen him play in the Premier League.
I think maybe with a Gerd it could work, because a Gerd's pace might, you know, get him out of trouble, because Oggy's still quite quick. He's still quick over the floor.
He's such a good defender. You know, his reading of the game is phenomenal. He's brilliant. Brilliant player.
Maybe it's 5 weeks, you know, 5 weeks of he's never going to be back to the full level, but maybe he can get more, you know, considered. Maybe is a better word. He could be considered for the first team. Moving on, Tilo Kura, mate, played at centre back, played at right back. When he first came in, I thought, wow, this guy's is really good. You know, passed the ball lovely, very strong. What about you?
Yeah. Kera's a weird one. He's been up and down. I really like him. Like I say, I think he's better at right back than centre back. I think if he is playing centre back, he would need to be in a 3. His distribution's fantastic. The only thing is he likes to. Yeah, he's a bit rash. He dives in. He loves a slide tackle. But I really like him. I think he looks really good. He's been getting a lot of hate from fans. I've seen, you know, been getting a lot of criticism. I don't really see it, you know. Again, he's a new player to the league. He's adjusting. He is a little bit rash, and I think, you know, that will come with time and experience.
Yeah, he always looks a risk for a yellow card or giving away a pen, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I say, with experience in the league, that will come. I've been pleased with him. I've been really pleased with him. I like Kehrer.
And anyone in the chat now, I'll say, watching for Germany in these next 5 weeks, and I bet you see the real him. You know, he's the most started player under the German manager. Going through, mate, Naif Agurd. We have seen him a few times. He looks good. He does. There is class there. Again, opposition, I know. But it does look quality there, doesn't it? It does look like there's a player in there.
Yeah, need to see more of him. Need to see him in the league.
The World Cup gets, we get to see him in the World Cup now.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be interesting to see. He looks good. He's going to bring some pace to the back line. Again, really good distribution. You'll have him. Ogbonna can obviously play the ball out
as well. When he got the ball
out of back.
When he got the ball, he don't look stiff. A lot of defenders can look stiff on the ball, but he looks, like he's got that nice bit in him.
Yeah. Can't really judge him on what we've seen. Obviously, such a shame he's been injured. But looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah. Emerson Palomiro. He's looked okay. Scored a goal. Again, not given too much of a chance in the league. I can give him a 6. I think he's looked good again in the games that he's played. He's looked okay. He looks a threat.
Yeah, I agree with that. Looks good going forward. There's one game I can't remember who it was against, but one game in particular, I remember a ball going over his head and he had no idea where the winger was. I can't remember what that was against. That's the one big, and I think because that happened quite early, I think that's stuck in a lot of fans' minds, and he's judged on that alone, which I don't think is fair. I don't think he's been played in his proper position. He hasn't really had a chance. But when he has played, I think he's looked fine. I think he's looked good.
Yeah. Pablo, mate. I know you touched on him a little bit earlier. What has happened to him, mate? He scored, don't you that last European game. Fantastic couple of goals in that game.
But where was he playing?
Cam, number 10.
Yeah, there you go. Play him in the middle, play him in his proper position. Look what happens. I think Fornals has been, we love Fornals on this channel.
But he has been poor.
He has been poor this season. He's been poor this season. I don't think it helps that he's, again, constantly played out of position, played on the left, plays defensively. But he hasn't been good enough this year. And then even then, when he has been, he comes in, scores 2 goals, scores a couple, out of the team again. No consistency there. But yeah,
again, like you say, mate, you're saying about the number 10 role. At points when he weren't playing Paqueta, when Paqueta was had that little injury, he could have played Downs, Rice, and Fornals in the number 10 role and seen if it would have worked. And I'm not slating Downs. I like Downs. I wanted him to play, but not in number 10.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, it's ridiculous. The fact that he played Downs in that attacking midfield role in number 10, at times Downs was up next to the striker when you've got Benrahma who can play there, Lanzini who can play there, Fornals who can play there. What is the thinking behind that? It's almost like he set him up to foul.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't that productive today. Yeah. For Pablo, again, no more than a 5. It's just not been good. Your boy, mate, Lanzini, we ain't seen much of him this season.
No, I think when he has played, though, I think
Premier League standard anymore.
I don't agree with that, mate. I think his role's changed. Yeah, I think his role's changed. But saying he's not up to Premier League standard, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I think, don't be wrong, I think I would start him every game for the Europe. I think he's good enough to be one of those players that drags you through them European games. But
I think it depends.
Premier League.
It's his position.
Like he gets pushed off the ball too much now.
It's how you want to use him. It's how you use him. Again, bringing him on and playing him on the left wing, he's never going to do anything. But put him in the middle, like as a kind of, I don't want to say like Pirlo because he's not anything like Pirlo, but that kind of sitting in midfield role, keeping possession of the ball,
playmaker,
playing it off. I think he can still absolutely do a job there. I really do. And I actually think when he has played this season, I think he's looked really good. I think he's been one of our better players when he has played.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that annoys me with Lanzini now, and this has been since the injury, he never takes a player on anymore.
No.
He never takes a player on anymore, and he's kind
of
lost that.
Be there. I don't think he'll be there next year. I know I've said that for the last couple of years, but I don't think he'll be there. I think he will go back home. Another one. How do we remember him? He's a good player. Unfortunate with injuries though. Next one, Pac-Man, £50 million man. He was just getting into his game, and he's had the injury. I think there is. I'm defending him, but there is an argument he's playing out of position. You talk about deep line playmakers. I think he is a number 8. I think he's number 8. I don't think he's a cam. I really don't. I think he's a proper number 8 who should be. I don't know, but then I'm going to ask, where does Rice play and where does Downs play?
See, for me, if I was picking the team, I would want to be playing a midfield 3 of Paqueta, Rice. I would play Rice deeper, Paqueta, Rice, Fornals, or Paqueta, Rice, Downs, depending on the opposition. I wouldn't play Paqueta. I think when Moyes plays those, if Moyes played those, Moyes wants to play Paqueta as an attacking midfielder.
You could
as a number
sit
10.
Downs back in that defensive midfielder role, and then you have Rice and Paqueta. Rice is the box-to-box worker, and then Paqueta's the one who's pinging.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, but trying to play him behind the striker is not his position. Like I say, I would play him in the middle of the pitch. I would play him. Excuse me. I'll play him, like say Rice. I'll play Fornals or Downs. What's this? What's these?
Sorry, they're just people talking. I'm just putting up comments for people.
I can see. I just so you know, guys. I've been watching the comments there, and I did see about Man United and saying that anyone would foul at Man United after Fergie. I think anyone.
No, I do agree with that.
I agree with that, but you can't deny the fact that Moyes didn't know how to manage or use higher class players. You can't deny that. I don't think anyone.
He went there we know, mate, that he went there with the attitude of, we try not to get beat first. Rio Ferdinand has said it. Whatever, I don't like Rio Ferdinand. I can't stand the geezer. But he has gone there and said, Man United's mentality is win. We win, not set up, not to lose.
Yeah. You can't, I agree. Anyone coming in, and we've seen it, no one's done a good job since Fergie left. Nobody has. But you can't deny that Moyes could not manage that higher level of player. He couldn't do it. And I think we are seeing that here. I do. Sorry, I can't remember who said it. I am reading the comments. But yeah, whoever said it, I agree with you. I don't think Moyes can manage that next level upper player. I don't think he can. Sorry, anyway, back to where we were.
Mate, rating for Paqueta then. From what I see so far, what's that say? Anyone gives Paqueta less than 10, we are having problems. You can't give him a 10 because we haven't seen enough of it.
Paqueta's been a 10
mate.
out of 10.
But he's set up a couple of goals in Europe. He seemed to be getting a really little partnership with Schumacher at one point. I'll give him a 6.5 for what I've seen so far. Obviously, the injury he's had. What about you?
Yeah, it's hard. Like I say, it's hard to give him a rating purely based on injuries. When he first came in, well, I don't know if I'd agree with that comment either.
Really, Newcastle, Brighton,
Newcastle, Arsenal, Brighton,
Man City.
Paqueta's hard to judge because he has been injured. As you say, he looked like he was just starting to get into things, and then he got injured, and then it's kind of set him back a little bit. And he's another player. I feel like he looks like his confidence is just being drained now. He looks like he looks scared on the ball. And I mean, this is a Brazilian international midfielder who looks scared on the ball. What? Yeah, in my opinion, another player who's being completely ruined.
Yeah. Next one is Flynn Downs. He's done okay. When he's played in his right position, he's neat and tidy, passed the ball around. Definitely, Mark Noble replacement. Very, very comfortable on the ball. I do think he has got a future at West Ham. I think we will see a lot of him, probably when Rice does go next summer. I've got to give him a 7 because he has looked really, really good when he has played. Like I say, mate, when he's out of position, that's not his fault. But when he's in his position, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Very tidy, good midfielder, not an attacking midfielder. I don't know why. Like I say, the fact that Moyes even played in there to me.
I think he's only ever scored 2 goals in his career, I think.
Yeah, mate, he's a defensive.
And assists, he don't get assists. He's just he's a ticky player.
I'm pretty sure he played centre-back as well last season. And then he's playing up with a striker. Like I say, to me, it's almost as if Moyes chucked him in there to foul. I don't know. But yeah, when he has played and he's played in his prop position, he's looked really good.
Yeah. Next, mate, Maxwell Cornet. We haven't seen enough of him. Again,
No, got an
another
assist
one.
or 2 assists, didn't he?
I was
Couple
just
of
about to say,
assists.
mate, another one who looked like he's starting to get a partnership with Skamaka at one point in Europe games. Obviously, had that goal wrongly disallowed at Stamford Bridge. He's a threat when he came on, though, weren't he? He is a threat. He's pacey, always looking to get in the box for goals. Yeah, I think there is a good player in there, and I hopefully, like I say, he's ready and raring to go when he comes back. But so far, I can only give him a 5 because we haven't seen enough of him yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sorry, mate. Hang on. Just want. Sorry, Pete. I don't want to feel like we're picking on you. Can we, mate? If there are positives to talk about, I'll talk about them. If there are positives to talk about,
we are saying positives as well.
I'll talk about them.
We are saying positives there.
If you want positives on David Moyes, Moyes has been phenomenal the last couple of seasons. He's taken us to places I never thought we'd go. He's been incredible for us. He's been fantastic for West Ham. Said this, I didn't like him. I didn't want him when he came back the second time. He turned me around. He won me around. He's probably the best manager we've had in my lifetime. But that doesn't mean he's having a good season this season. He's not. He's having a terrible season. I think we're going backwards under him. I don't think he can take us forward.
With football as well, mate. Again, you're only as good as your next result as well. And you can't in football. You can't live in the past. Look at Klopp at the moment. Klopp's won the Champions League. Klopp's won the Premier League. He goes and loses another 3-4 games. He's under serious pressure. Graham Potter has just gone to Chelsea. I think they haven't lost 3 or 4 games in a row for like 5 years, my mate in work was saying, since 2012. He goes and loses another 2 more. He's gone. You're only as good as your last job or your last game. You can't. And at the moment, 2022 has been a terrible season for West Ham, or a year for West Ham. We've had some amazing days, Seville and all that, but they're few and far between, mate. They are few and far between. But Rio leaving out their problems of a team with egos at Man United, I think he's justifying what he says, though.
Even then, though, like that is what it is. When you move up to that level of club and that level of player, that is the difference, mate. That is the difference. You have to be able to manage those egos. If you're managing the best players in the world, of course they've got egos. You have to be able to manage that. I don't think Moyes can.
When we are playing down the wings, we always get found out in the last few games. When we play down the middle, teams doesn't know what to do, and sometimes we lack the finishing touch. I agree, mate. Paul always says we never go down the middle. 100% record in Europe playing with kids. What is the opposition, though? And you know what? Do you know what's different in Europe? We actually go and attack and play teams. We don't sit back and be negative. If he had the same mentality maybe in the Premier League, we could forgive the losses because we can see that we're trying to be progressive and do things, no, mate?
Yeah, agree completely. Again, we're having a very agreeable day today.
I didn't say he's getting the sack. I said he could get. He's under pressure. That was my words. Don't put words in my mouth. Moyes is devaluing players the way we are going. What's Paqueta, Skamaka, Emerson going to be worth by January? And we've seen it. He's got history with it. Sebastian Haller, Anderson. Again, Anderson has question marks over his attitude. But, well, that's your opinion, lads. And I'm Moyes in, and I can't wait for him to turn it around. And us. Listen.
I hope you're right, mate.
I hope you're right, mate. I don't want anything more. I don't want West Ham to lose. But at the moment, I can't see a way out of it. I can't. Where's the next win coming, Matt?
I mean, that's it.
And I like you, Matt. You always put in the super chats and stuff like that. You're a top guy. But that's what I ask you. Where is West Ham's next win coming from?
Yeah, and I would say the same. Like Luke says there, Matt. I genuinely, mate. I hope you're right. I hope we come back from the World Cup. He's turned it around, and I want you to be coming on here and saying, there you go, lads. Look, you idiots. You wanted to get rid of him. Look at him now. Mate, I really hope that happens. I really do. But the problem for me this season, and I would accept if you want to say, we brought in loads of new players, this was always going to be a transition season. I could accept that if I could see signs of transition. If I could see some signs of change, of us trying to play a different style of play,
He even
if I
said it
trying to do
himself. He
something
said he wants to
different,
be more progressive. He wants to get exciting players like Dimitri Payet and Di Canio. You've got them, but you're telling them to sit back and do nothing.
yeah. And let me just click on that as well. So yes, we bought in, and they're finding it hard in England, and blah blah blah. That's true, but it's not just the new players. All of the players that were so good last season and the season before, they've fallen off a cliff as well. So I
Well,
don't
the
think
next
you
player,
can.
mate, the next player on the list in a minute. I'm sure we're going to
Yeah,
go in on him.
I don't think you can just say, "Oh, we brought in new players and they haven't settled," because the old players ain't doing it either. The whole team at the moment is going backwards. The whole team is
Yeah.
going backwards. And as I say, I would accept a season of transition if it looked like we were actually transitioning. Tell me what, and I can say again, I'm not trying to dig anyone out or anything, but Matt, Peter, tell me what signs you've seen this season that we're trying to do something different, that we're trying to incorporate a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
style of play.
They're not going to say that, like you say, mate. 8 new recruits. Okay, that's good. But as Paul said, where's the system change? Where's this? We're trying something different. It's not working. And then he results back to the man we're going to talk about in a minute. 2 top coaches left at the club. That's a big thing. I will
Yep.
give you that. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing. That's
That
huge.
is a big thing, yeah. But then, so what does that say? Does that say, well, what should we have had Stuart Pearce as our manager instead then? Like Mark Noble left. Yeah, absolutely. Mark Noble left. All right. So are you saying that the form of what 15 players relied on Mark Noble being in the
And
dressing
the
room?
thing with Mark as well, Mark didn't play last year. And listen, people are going to come at me, oh, you don't know what he does off the pitch. And da. If players have to rely on another guy to play well, there's something wrong.
Who's not their manager?
Yes.
Yes, Mark. I agree. I agree, Pete. I agree. I think 100% losing was it Nevin and Pierce and Noble, massive loss, massive loss. I think we had such a good backroom team the last couple of years, such a good backroom team, and to see that break up, huge impact. I think that's had a huge impact. Noble not being there, huge impact. I think he was a massive presence in the dressing room. But if Moyes can't do it without relying on Mark Noble, what sort of manager is he? What's he doing? If he can't do it without Noble, what's he going to do when Rice leaves?
Exactly.
When Rice leaves, what's Moyes going to do?
Yeah, I do think this is a fair point. In my opinion, Rice isn't a leader. He can't do the job.
Mate,
Parker Noble did. We
I
said that last week, though, didn't we?
I said this when Rice got made captain, a year ago. And I remember having arguments with you on this channel of I said, I don't think Rice is a good captain. And people were having a go at me. Well, look at me now.
Yeah. Right, we need to get through these players. Otherwise, we're not going to have time for World Cup chat.
Right.
Check 3. Been absolutely diabolical. Cannot pass the ball. He ain't scoring goals. I think he might have had 1 or 2 in Europe. Yeah, awful, mate. Our worst player this season, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's been terrible. And the fact that he keeps being played probably isn't helping. Souček will know that his form isn't the best. He hasn't been good, but the fact that he's being picked constantly, yeah, it's such a shame. Again, it's such a shame to say. He's been terrible. I think, he wanted a new contract. He didn't get it. Maybe he kicked up a bit of a fuss. His mate Soufal looks like he's probably going to be leaving. I think there's things going on there, but no, it's a shame. He's been very poor. And the fact that he keeps being played is the most frustrating thing.
Yeah, it's just ineffective as well of what he's trying to do. Coventry, have you got anything to say on him? A couple of times he's played, he's looked neat and tidy.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Coventry's a Premier League player. I don't think he'll make it in the Premier League. I think he'll have a good career. I don't think he'll make it in the Premier League.
Yeah, there's a question for it. Is he better than Jack Collinson? If you're looking at that's what I'm trying to say. Jack Collinson you could see he was a Premier League player at points, weren't it? Again, apart from bad injuries. He's good, he's neat and tidy, he'll have a good football career, but I don't think he's the future of West Ham. Yes, I have seen your comment, Peter. Don't worry, you don't have to put it 700 times. Declan Rice, what can you say about him, mate? He has been our best player. Him and Benny have been our best player by a mile. You can question his captaincy, whether he has got that, but his ability the game against Liverpool. You know, he is trying. He's probably hurting. You know, just as much. He wouldn't want his last season at West Ham to be like this after last season. You know, I have to give him an 8. I have to. I think he's so good. He's head and shoulders above any West Ham player in there, and he's, dare I say, he's too good for West Ham. Though he is. He's too good for us.
We've been saying that for a while, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, again, he's been Declan Rice. He's had off games, but he's still been, you know, the best player on the pitch.
4 out of 10. Matt, please explain.
Yeah, you know, Rice has been brilliant. I do think the more him trying to be the new Steven Gerrard, you know, trying to play forward, I don't think that's actually helped him. I think he would be better off sitting a bit more. And just to go on that, yeah, there you go. So he seems to want to do everything. I think at the moment, Daniela, he feels like he has to do everything. He feels like he has to. He's trying to cover. He's trying
to do Scott Parker.
He's trying to grab the team by the scruff of the neck. He's trying to lift them up to his level. That's what he's trying to do. It's not working at the moment.
Imagine how frustrated he must be when you're passing it, when you know the only pass on is Souček and he's going to give the ball away. Like, how must that feel every time?
Yeah, and you've seen it. You can see his frustration in games as well. You can see it.
Yeah, I do have sympathy for him. I do, because you know, I bet he wants nothing more than to, you know, achieve things at West Ham, and he may well do, mate. He may well lift that European Conference League in May. But yeah, it's not good. Right, attackers. Your boy, mate, Gianluca Scamacca, Italian's number 9. When he first started, confident, making runs. Players were making runs off him. He's passing the ball, laying it off nice, taking shots. The last 3 games, mate, isolated. Doesn't really make the runs because he knows nothing's going to happen now. Yeah.
Summed it up, mate. Yeah, summed it up. What, 6 goals?
There is a really good player in there. There is.
Oh, yeah, of course there is.
He could work a bit harder. He could work a little bit harder, I think.
He's on 6 goals, you know, so he has been scoring, yes, majority in the Conference League, and we've already said the opposition's been terrible. But like you say, he's another player, you know, came in full of confidence. Like, this man was pure confidence. He almost had that kind of Arnautovic arrogance to him. That's just been drained away. And it's another player that's being completely ruined. You know, we're using him wrong. We're using the system around him is wrong. Completely mishandling him. You know, Mancini's already come out and said he's already come out and said that he's being completely misused at West Ham. He's out of the Italy squad at the moment.
Sorry, just got to put my charger in.
Who are playing? They're playing today. Actually, they've got a friendly today. Italy. He's out of the squad. I think the official reason is he's picked up an injury. But yeah, just not again, another player. I can't remember who it was. Sorry, someone said earlier the value's just being drained. You know.
Yeah.
And if I was giving him a rating, like I say, he scored goals in Europe, looked good at the start, but I couldn't give him more than a 6.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. But scored some worldies, though. Scored some absolute worldies. But yeah. There's 3 more. Mikel Antonio. He scored a couple of goals. He's ineffective now, though, mate. I'd like to see him play on the wing. There's points where I thought, you know, on the wing with Scamacca, could it work? We know he'd run, at least. You know, he'd try and run. Not good enough, though, no?
No, I don't think so, no. And, you know, trying to play him, again, another season, another year older, trying to use him as that battering ram, it's not really working anymore, you know? It's not really working anymore. He dives constantly now. Rather than trying to, you know, use his strength and battle players, he just falls on the floor. You know, we saw with the penalty the other week. Yeah, poor. Like you say, I would love to see him play with Scamacca. I would love to see him play on the wing, and just to give it a go. It might not work. It might be terrible, but give it a go. Give it a go. At least see what happens. You know.
Last two, mate. Jared Bowen. Poor.
Shocking.
It's been
Shocking.
terrible. It's been terrible.
Absolutely
But
shocking.
again, part of it not his fault. He's been played when he shouldn't be played. He should have. All the rumours are that David Moyes was giving him all the chance he could to get in the World Cup squad. But that was detrimental to West Ham. He wasn't playing well. He wasn't playing well enough.
Yeah, everything that Bowen done right, and all he was sort of coming in to the middle, running at defenders, getting in the box. We just haven't seen it. All he ever does now, if he gets the ball out wide, and he just cuts back and passes it backwards. He does nothing. Bowen does nothing. This season
he's been poor. He's been four for me.
This season, this season he's been. You gave Sue Fowler 2. For me, Bowen's been no better. Genuinely, I think he's been shocking. Exhausted and overplayed, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But he's been terrible this season.
Yeah, he's one that this rest might do him a favour. Then if he is exhausted and overplayed,
I think I hope he comes back.
Prove.
Yeah, I was going to say that's exactly what I was going to say. I hope he comes back now with a point to prove. I hope he doesn't come back with his head down, depressed. I didn't make the England squad, especially if England go far. He'll be looking at that saying, "Oh God, I could have been there." I hope he don't come back like that. I hope he comes back with the right attitude. I hope he comes back with a point to prove. I really do, because such a good player, and again, he's just gone so far backwards this year.
Yeah,
so far.
And
backwards.
there is a good player in there, like you said, mate. There is. Last one is Said Benrahma, mate. Like we've said, mate, our best player this season by a mile. Harshly treated, scored some good goals, assisted goals. Can still be very frustrating. He gets an 8 from me. He's been fantastic, mate.
Easy 8. Yeah, easy 8. Best player this season. I've laid into Benrahma constantly since he signed. I've never really rated him, but this season he's been brilliant. He's been the one real positive this season, and he's another player who's being. It's almost like he's being bullied.
Yeah,
genuinely, it's like he's being bullied, and it's such a. I hate to see it. But yeah, brilliant from Benrahma. Really pleased to see him play well this season. And I'm just glad that we've got these ratings done, because that was incredibly depressing.
But I'm going to very quickly rush through some of these last two bits, Matt. We're not going to do the World Cup chat. We're just going to answer a couple of these. What's your favourite ever World Cup moment? Obviously, the World Cup starts today. Really looking forward to it. Takes our mind off it. What's your favourite ever World Cup moment?
So this is difficult.
I know you're a big Del Piero fan, so maybe that semi-final goal. I was thinking.
Yeah. So I was thinking. So if I had to pick one moment, the semi-final against Germany, Del Piero scoring to make it 2-0 to put Italy through to the final, which they then obviously went on to win against France. Remember that day very well. Yeah. Remember that day very well. Fantastic. For anyone who doesn't know, I follow Italy. My family's Italian. Del Piero, my favourite player of all time. That was such a moment. Yeah, him scoring that goal. To make it 2-0. Huh?
Don't usually swear. I just swore there.
Did you? I missed it. So it probably got away with it. Fantastic.
What about non-Italy? Like, is there any moments that you can remember? Like, for me, I was going to say James Rodriguez's goal for Colombia. Like, just ridiculous.
Probably the earliest World Cup really that I can properly remember was 1998 and England Argentina. That Owen goal, Michael Owen scoring against Argentina, sort of announcing himself on the world stage. Beckham got sent off, and then England lose on penalties.
That's a moment. That's that one there from Danielle. That was a real moment. That was
7-1.
Ridiculous.
7-1. That was semi-final. Yeah, I made a lot of money on that game. 7-1 in the semi-final. That was in Brazil, wasn't it? It was in Brazil. Yeah. Spain won it in 2010. I was living in Spain at the time. That was fantastic. They won the Euros
in team
2008,
they were as well.
and then won the World Cup in 2010 while I was there. That was incredible. Wasn't in the World Cup, but the Beckham free kick against Greece to get us there.
I said that as an international moment. That is
That's one
It's a
of the
moment.
all-time. Yeah, that's one of the all-time. I remember I was in Lakeside.
Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah,
Because
it
I
was
remember I was in Lakeside. Yeah,
and
and
it
it was
was
a TV shop like Dixon's
that's
or
it. It was
something
like
like that.
Dixon's. Yeah, I think it was Dixon's, and they had the TVs in the window was showing the game, and we were standing outside Dixon's watching it through the window with a few other people, and that goal went in. Just unbelievable. Yeah, what a moment! What a moment that was.
I can't remember
What
if it
about
was
you?
a
What
World
about you?
Cup or not. For England, do you remember Joe Cole against Sweden? I can't remember if it was World Cup or Euros where he scored that absolutely ridiculous volley from about 35 yards. That was a
Yeah.
beautiful goal. In terms of me, I've seen my inherited country, obviously, because my family's French. I've seen them lift the World Cup twice in my lifetime and been in the final 3 times. The first one, 98, Zidane, Lilian Thuram in the semi-final with that celebration. Just, brilliant memories. The second time, we just made it look easy with Mbappe, etc. And yeah,
What
worst
about what?
moment.
I was going to
Worst
say, what
moment.
about
I was
Zidane?
gonna Let me put it up.
The end of
Worst
his
moment
career.
is Zidane, mate. Yeah, Zidane. Arguably one of my favourite players ever. Definitely in the top 3. To see him go out on his last game like that, I think even you, mate, even as an Italy
Oh,
fan,
of course, yeah. You
as a
didn't want to see that.
football fan, it's heartbreaking. That image of him walking past the trophy is heartbreaking. It's
Yeah,
truly heartbreaking.
you didn't want to see that. Like I say, as an Italy fan, even I mean, at the time, I loved it. It was
Oh yeah,
brilliant.
of course. Yeah. Well, he would have scored a penalty, mate. He would have scored
Yeah.
the penalty, and it probably would have been 5-5. And Trezeguet maybe would have missed the sudden death one. But
Yeah.
you owed us one because we got the Euro winning. When was that? Was that Euro 2000 with Trezeguet's golden goal final? Yeah, so you owed us one. Rare to see Italy win on penalties as well, mate, because obviously that's probably my earliest memory of any World Cup is 94. Baggio, again, one of my favourite players ever,
Baggio
Roberto
missed,
Baggio.
yeah.
And that killed him, it killed him for a long time, that moment. Such a... What else did I have it? What are you looking forward to in the World Cup, mate? I did put in there, like, with West Ham and stuff. We've got a few there, Rice, Paqueta, Aguerd. I'm really looking forward to seeing Paqueta and see what he does in, his proper team, in his proper position.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, looking forward to seeing mainly Paqueta. I suppose I've got the Brazil top one. I think they're easy favourites to win the tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Their team is ridiculous.
Well, my team's ridiculous. Done, mate. Benzema's gone, Pogba's gone, and Cuckoo's gone for run.
Shame for France. Yeah, a lot of injuries. But yeah, Brazil's team is unbelievable.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I'm looking forward to watching Brazil.
England, Argentina are going to do good that.
For Argentina, I would love to. For me, I think Messi is the greatest player.
Oh, the romantic story is that Messi wins it, mate.
Yeah,
for me, romantic story.
For me, Messi's the GOAT. I think he's the best player of all time, and I would love to see him win it. I would absolutely like you say that moment, that story, and for me, that would cement him as.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I don't think anyone could say anything. Then I really don't.
I would love to see that. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Portugal have got a ridiculous team. Portugal have got a ridiculous team as well.
Portugal have got a good team. Be interesting to see how they do. What about England? Apart from honestly,
defense
apart from Declan Rice, I haven't really got any interest.
Yeah, no, I like Jude. I'm a big Jude fan. I really like him, Jude Bellingham. Like Foden. England's attack is spoiled. It is. There's no denying the sport. But Maguire, no right back unless Trippier plays there. Yeah. Quarterfinals for them. Semi-final maybe.
Yeah, quarterfinals. I reckon quarterfinals. Yeah. Same old England, really. I could see quarterfinals.
Okay, last thing, mate, because we have been going for a very long time. Who do you think is going to win it? We'll discuss it, and as the weeks go on, we'll probably change our mind. I'm going to go with the team you've got on your shirt there, mate. I think Brazil win it.
Yeah,
I think they beat Argentina in the final.
Oof,
if that can be done, if it can play out like that, I'm not sure.
If it can play out, that'd be some final. Yeah, that'd be some final. I think Brazil massive favourites. Just because there are people talking about it, and I like Matt there. I agree, Matt. I'm completely with you. Yeah, completely
No,
with you.
100%.
I think this World Cup is an absolute disgrace. Genuinely, I think it's a disgrace. I think it's a joke that is happening there. It's a joke that is happening in the middle of the season. Completely against it. The way that everything's going over there at the minute is ridiculous. Personally, I think the nation should have boycotted it. They didn't. And it's all right coming out now saying, "Oh, we're against this, we're against that." Well, you shouldn't be there. If the nations had that much of a problem, they shouldn't have sent a team. They shouldn't have sent a team.
Yeah.
But they did. So listen, we'll all watch it. We'll all watch the games. But yeah, no, I did want to say that. Yeah, I agree completely, man. Yeah, agree completely against it. And I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite because I'll be watching the games.
Yeah. Right, we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching for the hour. Enjoy the World Cup. We'll be back maybe next week. Until next time, try and stay positive about West Ham. Come on, you irons. Let's go.
Cheers.